Hello and welcome to Knit Cheek. My name is Natalie and I'm the cheek behind Knit Cheek, and today you are watching Vlogmas Week 2. In this Vlogmas series, I am trying to knit a sweater in 3 weeks, and you are watching the second part of this 3-part series. If you haven't watched last week's video, part 1, you can watch that by following the link in the description below, and make sure to subscribe so you can watch next week's video where I will hopefully have a finished sweater 18. I also cast on a new project this week, which is the Night and Day Cowl by Andrea Mowry. And I fixed the I-cord bind off that I bound off too tight on my Inclinations shawl. This is a very vloggy, casual video. A lot of me in my pajamas, catching up with my projects in the mornings and the evenings of every day, and some behind the scenes of other things that I got into this week. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you enjoy this week's video.
Good morning from day 8 or day 1 of week 2. Today was honestly not a great start for, well, there's a lot going on. So yesterday I edited and posted, or like pre-posted, my video that went up last week, which was my knitting a sweater in 3 weeks part 1. And it didn't, like, I went to bed putting it online because it does take hours to upload. And then my computer went to sleep. And so it didn't upload, so I this morning uploaded it. So it went up, I think, like 10 a.m. where I wanted it to go up at like 6 a.m., which is fine. While that was uploading last night, I freaked out about my sweater 18 being too big. A little bit after the try-on that was in the last video, like maybe 5 rows after that, I started to feel like, oh my God, this looks too big. Like the back panel looks too big. And I tried to lay it out and measure it, which I was measuring, I think I was measuring 46.5 inches, and it was supposed to be like 47 inches circumference when it was finished and blocked. And so I was freaking out because in my head, my swatch was 4 inches blocked, but pre-blocked it was 3.5 inches. So I was like, that means for every 3.5 inches, it's gonna grow 1/2 inch, which I've done this math in my head before and it never really pans out. So I'm not sure. I think the problem is that I just, like, I understand gauge, but I just don't feel like it works the way that it's supposed to every time. And I'm sure there's factors into it, and maybe I'll just get better at that with like experience. But I still don't, I feel like I want to understand gauge mathematically, and it doesn't seem to want to work in like my mathematical knowledge. Or I'm not really sure what is happening. So pre-blocking, which granted, I measured this laying my sweater on the floor and like measuring half the sweater because it's, you know, I can't measure the whole thing. So I measure half and it was like 23.25 of an inch. So that's 46.5 inches. Pre-block or post-blocking, it's now 24 inches. So that actually didn't grow a ton. So that puts me at 48 inches, which is only a little bit bigger than it was supposed to be. It's laid out though, so I don't know if when I like pick it up and try it on, if it's gonna stretch out, I don't know. So we'll see. But that leads me to the problem of today as being part of my knitting the sweater journey, is that I blocked the sweater last night when I was freaking out about it being too big. So now it's drying, and it's drying quickly, but I don't think I will be able to knit it today, which is okay because I have a couple of other things that I think need to get done anyways. For instance, this morning I weaved in a couple of ends of my oxbow socks. So now these are ready. I'm going to take photos of these today so that I can just start wearing them. I'm also still not done with my November sock. This is the second sock, so the first sock is done, and I'm working through the foot, but I still have a good ways to go. Although I actually don't think I'm gonna work on this. This is more of my like to-go project, which I do need to do some things today running around town where I may work on this as a to-go project. Peaches. The problem is that my tripod is on the coffee table and it's not very stable. So when you go up there, you shake the whole thing. Oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me. I know, I need to go to the pet store and get you some food. We only have dry food right now, so she's very upset. She didn't get her morning wet food. The other project I was thinking about working on today is picking off my I-cord bind off for my Inclination shawl. I showed this in my last video. It's too tight and it makes this kind of hard to style. So I thought maybe I would tear that out and redo that today because I really don't think that would be that big of a thing. And I think it would feel really good to do it. I also need to cast on my Night and Day Cowl, the black and white one, the black and whitish one that I'm making for my mom for Christmas. And I think that'll put me on a schedule where I'll have that. And that was a very good portable project, easy to memorize. So like if I can't work on the sweater 18 for whatever reason, I can maybe get some knitting done on that. If that gets done, that's really the only Christmas gift that I need to do. The other ones that I have in my mind are things that like, oh, if I have time, I might want to make. But if I didn't, it would be okay. But I have to get my mom her cowl for Christmas on time. So I think that's it. I mean, work has been really slow the last couple of weeks, which is okay because it ended up working out last week with my birthday and going up to Idlewild. And then Mr. Cheek is working on one of our projects. We have like a really small 1-bedroom house that we're renovating that he just put the drywall up for. So I may or may not be helping him this week depending on if he needs help or not. And can you cool your jets? So day 1 of week 2 of trying to knit a sweater in 3 weeks may not have any sweater knitting unless like late tonight after my whole day is done, I may check and maybe see if I can get some more rows in. But as of right now, I am not freaking out like I was last night, thinking it was going to be too big. Like in my calculations of how the gauge should work, I thought that it was going to end up blocking out to like 57 inches, which was like the size large. And I don't think that's the case. I think it might be a couple more inches than I thought it was going to be. So it may end up being somewhere between a small and a medium. In hindsight, I may have wanted to knit an extra small or just size down in needles. I usually am in between a small and a medium or like a 2 and a 3. My bust is like 35 and a half. I usually round up to 36, but I'm not very busty. That's just the circumference of like my chest. I was thinking about like, well, the sweater was designed to be oversized. And in the past, when I have bought cardigans or sweaters that were like oversized when they were selling them, I remember that I've actually bought extra smalls in the past. Like a couple of my sweaters are extra smalls, but they were designed to be oversized and they're still plenty oversized on me. And I think that's because I'm not busty, like I'm not very chesty, that an oversized look for me, usually I have to size down. So that is good to know in the future. I don't know if I should have done the extra small, but I'm glad because I originally was debating between a small and medium. So I'm glad that I knit the size small versus the size medium, because usually when I'm on the fence between a small and a medium, I go medium because I like a more fit. But if it's already designed to be oversized, I need to size down. That was a lot of rambling. Let me show you how cute my dog is right now. This is Mikey. She's 15. She doesn't make it into a lot of my videos just because she's usually, when she walks by, like she doesn't make it into frame, and my cats are rude and will just jump on me and demand attention, but Mikey's a little bit more subtle. She's my old girl. Huh. Okay, good night. I just finished photographing my Oxbow socks, so in my mind, these are officially 100% done, which means I can throw them in my sock drawer and I can wear them. I always upload photos to Ravelry first, so if you want to see my finished projects like before anyone else, go follow me on Ravelry. I am Knit Cheek. Otherwise, like I'll probably post these tomorrow on Instagram, or I don't know, but sometimes they sit on photos, but I always like update them to Ravelry immediately as soon as they go on my computer. So just a little tip. Okay, it is Tuesday evening, day 8 or day 1 of week 2. I ended up not working on my sweater at all today. I got busy. I went and picked up pet food, and then I went by the job site that Mr. Cheek and I are renovating and helped him out a little bit today, and then came home and just got out of the shower, and I decided I was going to take the opportunity to do something different tonight, and that is rebinding off the Inclinations Shawl. So I picked out the I-cord edge, which was easy because I never wove in the ends because I knew instantly that it was too tight. So I have very ramen-y noodles over here. And then I ripped it out. I picked up the stitches before I ripped it out with a size 0 needle, and this makes it a lot easier. This was a recommendation by my local yarn store. They told me, you know, pick up with a really, really thin needle. So size 0 needle. I've never knit anything with this. This is just to pick up stitches. It's just easier to pick them up. I am binding off, I'm going to attempt to bind off a 2-color I-cord bind off, but alternating 2 rows of the brown color and then only 1 row of the spin cycle, because I used every last inch of what I have of this to bind this off, and I don't have any more of it, whereas I have more brown. So I'm assuming I'm going to use more yarn because I'm trying to make a looser bind off here. So we are going to try to conserve some of this orange. I don't know what I'm going to do if I run out, like if I just go from doing 2-color to switch to just brown, because that's also a possibility, is to just do the solid color I-cord. But I'm gonna attempt to do the 2-color just with more brown. I pulled out this was the leftover spin cycle I have from my Night and Day Cowl, and thought like, oh, maybe that would work, but it's just, I think it would have worked within it, like on the other side, maybe where it was lighter, but I think it's too stark of a difference. One of the greatest things about spin cycle though is like, these are all colors that I would never gravitate towards, like if it was a single skein, but they just look really, really great with neutrals, which is why they are so successful. I love spin cycle. If I could afford to, I definitely would purchase more of it and work with it more often, but it's more of like a special occasion thing for me. I'm gonna continue knitting this I-cord bind off. It is Wednesday morning, or day 9, or day 2 of week 2. I don't know. It's day 9. And I did not knit on my sweater 18 yesterday because I blocked it and it was drying. So I decided to take the opportunity to pick out the I-cord bind off of my Inclinations Shawl that I finished this last year. So like 2023. And look at that. The old one was tight, so this is much improved. Yeah, so I think it'll be easier to style now. And I think I have to block it, which I really don't want to do because I want to wear it this weekend, but the I-cord bind off definitely looks, she's looking a little rough because, I mean, it was really tight, and so the yarn that I unraveled was really ramen-y, but like at such a tighter gauge. I'm gonna reknit it, and you can definitely see like some of that yarn about, like, I think up to an eighth of this far in. I was like, wow, that really looks like crap. So I steamed the yarn a little bit, and it definitely is better throughout the rest of it, but you can still see this is actually my end that I didn't weave in very well. So this is done. I might block it, and then I'm gonna go try on my sweater. And I use these as scissors all the time. They're like a candle wick thing that I have on my coffee table, but it's always out, so I always end up using them as scissors. Yeah, I'm gonna go, oh my God. What did I just do? Holy shit. Okay. Shit, I accidentally cut some of the, I don't know how to fix that. Wow, that's bad. Okay, well, I'm gonna try to fix this and do a sweater try on and hopefully get that back on the needles. So I'm in shock right now. Well, off to a bad start this morning. After accidentally snipping my I-cord, I ended up just ripping back because I could not figure out how to fix it. So I don't know, I would say this is like a third of a way. And this took forever last night. Like, it took a whole movie for me to do this. So I'm assuming this is gonna be an hour of work, and I was hoping to get started on my sweater 18, but I could not do this as soon as it happened. Like, I knew if I put this down, I'm gonna do this real quick, and then I'll check in with you guys with a sweater try on once I get my morning back on track. Okay, no pair of scissors is allowed anywhere near this. I just ripped back and redid that freaking cast-on edge. I'm gonna go throw this in the bathtub just because I never want to see it again. But there are other ends that I wove in that need to be trimmed, and I swear I'm not trimming them now, so this is okay. I'm gonna go block this and actually work on my sweater. Here's an after blocking fit. It's definitely oversized, Please excuse my 20-year-old pajamas. They're not that old, but they're very old. But, you know, I measured it, and it's measuring at 48 inches of circumference. It seems bigger than that, honestly. My conclusion is, like, okay, if it's a couple inches bigger than the size small, I'm not gonna undo this to do it a little bit smaller. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's okay. It's fitting okay. Yes, it's oversized. I think the ribbing will kind of bring it in when it comes down to where I usually like my sweaters to hit me here. But it's so pretty, and it's so, like, I don't know if drapey is the word, but it's really, really soft. But yeah, I think this is gonna work out. I think it's gonna be fine. Okay, I've picked up all my stitches, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm going to knit for half an hour. I think my goal is going to be to do somewhere between 10 and 15 rows. I only have 30 more rows until I'm supposed to do the ribbing, but I have a short torso, so I'm probably gonna end up cropping that. So I don't know when I'll actually be done with the body. I'm going to do 10 to 15 rows and try to at least use up this ball of yarn, and then try it on and see how the length is fitting. Okay, it is Wednesday evening, right? Is it Wednesday? Yeah. I knit a good 2.5 inches here. Oh, I have a measuring tape in my hand. 2 inches, 12 rows, and I'm feeling like I'm close to being done with the body. I just ended my 4th ball of yarn, and I don't know, I feel like I'm done because it's 3 inches of ribbing. So I think I might be done, but I'm like really not in the mood to like make a decision. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the collar or do a sleeve and then like decide later, because I'm just not in the mood to decide right now. Because 3 more inches puts me here, which I feel like is pretty good. Like I feel like I'm good. Hi. I know. Oh my goodness. It's like every time I bust out the camera, every one of my pets is like, time to make noise. Yeah, I think I'm done with the body. Okay, I'm gonna marinate on that. Pick up for the collar, pick up for the sleeve, or I might just cast on the Night and Day Cowl that I'm gonna knit for my mom. So, oh, so I got new yarn. I just ordered this from the Woolly Thistle. It is Mondeem by Retrosaria. I've knit a ton of Oslo hats out of this, and I am going to pair this with some other Retrosaria Mondeem yarn that I picked up from Truckee when we were in Lake Tahoe, and I'm gonna make the Marley Shawl by Drea Renee Knits. So that's what this is for. I think that's it's a brioche pattern. So I don't know how to do brioche. I'm gonna have to learn how to do that. Wish me luck. I don't know when I'm gonna be doing this, but I don't know when. Probably after Christmas. All right, I'm gonna marinate on this. Good morning. It is Thursday morning, which puts me at day 10. Last night I cast on or picked up stitches for the collar of the sweater 18. And I think I'm about 2 inches, and I need to knit 3 inches. So I think before I have to start my day today, I'm gonna sneak in some knitting time and knit a whole inch of the collar and knit it down, and then probably try it on. So let's do that. Well, it's still Thursday morning, and I just finished the collar. This sweater is seriously so soft. It's crazy soft. Well, it's cashmere, so, I mean, obviously it's gonna be soft. It's like 75% cashmere and then 25% extra fine merino. Anyways, I'm gonna marinate on the body length. Like, I try it on and I'm like, this is too cropped, but then I like pull it and I'm like, 3 more inches of, it's actually 2 inches, it's 2.75 inches more is going to be perfect. So I don't know. I don't want to think about it. I think I'm going to do a sleeve instead. And the collar went by really fast and not fast at the same time, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like the knitting time took a long time, but the actual like time didn't take a long time. You're like, now, like, wow, this makes zero sense. And you're right, it does. And I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna go get my day started, do everything I have to do today, and then I'll check in later tonight when I have some more knitting time, and hopefully we'll be casting on a sleeve. I also realized that I significantly like overestimated how long December was. When I first was like, okay, if I do this in 3 weeks, I'll be done and I'll still have a week before Christmas. And that was not right, because if I finish this in 3 weeks, it will be done by Christmas. So I have to cast on my mom's Night and Day Cowl and knit this at the same time. Otherwise, I'm not going to get that done. And there are 2 other last minute Christmas gifts that I wanted to knit, but I'm not like in a hurry to knit those. One of them doesn't have to be on time, but the other one would. So I have to decide if I'm going to try to bust that out or not. It'll really just depend on how quick this knits up, which I feel like is really fast. Like, I think if this wasn't my first time doing this, I may have been able to do it faster than 3 weeks because it's such a large gauge. But, and if I would have knit a smaller size, probably too. I'm just going to ramble on. I'm going to go I have a lot of things to get done today, so I'm going to go do that and then check in with you guys later.
I just realized that I picked up a stitch here for this collar that messed up this purl row, if you can see right here. So I'm going to try to rip this back. See if I can fix that. All right, I was able to fix it. It still isn't looking the best right here, and it's like, of course, in the front. But I have 3 ends on the other side, so I think what I'll do is just when I weave in my ends is kind of like duplicate the stitches that are already there to reinforce whatever the heck is happening there, and maybe a little blocking will help too.
Good morning. It is Friday morning, which is day 8, 9. Wednesday was day 9. Thursday was day 10. Okay. Welcome to Friday morning, or day 11. I can't be put in charge of knowing what day it is. Like, that needs to be someone else's job. I am not responsible enough for this. So I did try to film a little bit last night, and I asked Mr. Cheek to film me and just was trying to film with him in the room because I was like, you know what? I'm getting more comfortable with this, and we just need to make this transition where this isn't going to be weird. And he was just misbehaving and ruining every shot.
I got you perfectly framed right now.
Joey, I know I'm not perfectly framed because I can see baby kitty.
I'm looking past her.
Joey, please. Joey, what are you doing? I can tell you're messing around over there.
I'm not.
Okay, quick update. It's Thursday evening and I have picked up my Joey. A recap of yesterday is that I picked up my right sleeve and knit about, let's see here, an inch and a half. And then I started to get a little bit anxious about Christmas and Christmas gifts and was like, oh my God, I need to start. I caked up my Sea Change yarn that I bought from the SoCal Fiber Fair, and I cast on my second Night and Day Cowl, and this is the one I'm making for my mom for Christmas. And these are in the, I mean, they're not the original colors because they're not the original yarn, but similar colors to Andrea Mowry's original, sorry, I just bumped the table, sample. So it's so pretty. They look so pretty together. The only thing I'm worried about is if the colors are going to bleed. So I'm tempted to throw this in like some cold water and check. If it did, I don't know what I would do. I guess maybe, what do you do in that instance? I should probably actually do that. I think I'm going to knit a little bit more and then do that. and knit a little bit of my sleeve. I'm currently waiting for, oh my god, this looks so pretty together. I'm really into cream. It's like my favorite color, and I need to stop buying cream yarn though. And like I see creams all the time. I'm like, oh, I love that. And that's my friend who went to SoCal Fiber Fair was like, yeah, you can't buy all this cream. So I got away with this one though because it went with the black one. I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah, I am gonna knit a little bit of that. And oh, I'm waiting for Mr. Cheek to call me. I'm gonna go over to our project house today and help him drywall mud. So I'm just waiting for him to call me when he's ready for me to come. And so I'm basically on call. So while I wait, I'm gonna sit here. And Peaches has a cold and she's all wrapped up. I put a heating pad on her. She has a cold and she slept all day yesterday and was sneezing all day. Get better, little pea. All right, I blocked this little section and I don't see any color bleeding at all. So I have no more insecurities. It's just drying in my guest room with the fan, and hopefully that'll be done later tonight so I can keep knitting it because I really enjoy knitting this pattern. It's just such a good pattern. Saturday morning try on. This is where I'm at with my sleeve. I feel like I was further than this, but give you a visual of what this is gonna look like with high-waisted jeans. Yeah, I think I'm ready for ribbing because it's gonna get a little bit longer. My goal for today, I think, is I would love to finish it, but I feel like that's pretty ambitious. But maybe like to the ribbing, I don't know. I still think that's ambitious, but I can try. Isn't it turning out cute? Hi, it's Saturday evening and I cannot remember the last time I actually sat down and talked about progress, goals, and what's going on with my sweater. I just got back from my local yarn store's pajama party, which was so much fun. They had all sorts of games and prizes. I didn't film it because I'm too shy to ask people their permission to film and then find out that I have a YouTube. I don't know. I'm too shy to ask, and I don't want to like invade anyone's privacy. But it was at my local yarn store. They do like a pajama party, and I went with a friend, and it was really, really fun. And I won all sorts of like goodies. I won bingo, and I won like a whole bag of little Baroku. I don't think it says how much they are, but they're probably like 20 grams at most, like little sample yarns. And then I won a lot of like candy and stuff playing games. And the only other yarny thing I won was a little progress keeper, which I was just talking about how I don't have one of these. So I'm so excited. Yeah, other than that, Mr. Cheek and I drove up to the mountains today. He wanted to take some photos of the recent fire damage up in the mountains because we're both really devastated about how bad the fires have been and how much forest is gone. And he wanted to take some photos of it. It's kind of frustrating because, you know, people don't realize that that is not going to come back in our lifetime. Hi, can you scratch that later or never? So that's what we did today. And then while we were up there, we went for like a little walk in the forest, and I brought my Inclinations shawl, which I recently fixed. And so we took some photos of that because I never really had great photos. I mean, we just got our camera this year, so I made the shawl last year. So I definitely didn't have great photos of it. And then I sat and knit for a while. and then went to a party and knit all night. So win-win-win. I worked on my Night and Day Cowl the whole time we were there. Sorry, I needed to finish this row before I showed it. So it is growing slowly here. Definitely, I don't know, I'm torn because I love working on this and I love working on my sweater. And then occasionally I actually did get a little bit of knitting on my sock, just because when we originally left today at first, I brought 3 things to work on with me and didn't bring 1 pattern. And then I was like, oh, well, I don't have reception. So while we were up in the mountains, I did a little bit of my sock, not really much. Okay, I'm gonna sit and watch more Christmas episodes of Bob's Burgers. I started last night. I am a huge Bob's Burgers fan, and I was watching Breathing Yarn's video where she makes this quilt pillow, and she was watching the Christmas episodes of Bob's Burgers, and I was like, yes, kindred spirits. So, and then my sweater, I got like at least an hour's worth of knitting in today, and I want to put a progress keeper on it before tomorrow so that we know how much I've been knitting. More than halfway through my sleeve. I know it's more than halfway because the pattern says. It doesn't look like it, but it is. And the rows are getting shorter. Okay, I'm gonna get to knitting and some Bob's Burgers. Thanks for tuning in. I will check in tomorrow.
Good morning. It's Sunday morning, pretty early. I have my coffee here, and I'm determined to get to the ribbing of the sleeve. This is about how much knitting I did last night. To be honest, I forgot to put this on, so I put this on afterwards, so it may be off like a row or 2. So I'm gonna move it up. So that's how much I did last night. I'm gonna move it up, and I'm going to knit as much as I can before Mr. Cheek wakes up.
I am done with 1 sleeve. I still have to do the hem, but I'm finished with the sleeve length. I'm going to wait to do the hem until I'm done with the other sleeve, and then I'm probably going to block it 1 more time just to make sure before I start doing 1 by 1. I was going to try to pick up my left sleeve because we're about to go to like a wedding party. It's not the wedding, but like a party to celebrate the wedding that already happened. I was going to try to pick up the sleeve and knit this there, but decided, you know what, I'm just going to work on my Night and Day Cowl because it's like more portable than this right now. I'll just save, because I feel like I'm really on track here. It is Sunday evening, so I have a whole week to make my 3-week deadline here. So I feel like I'm okay. I feel like I can put this aside for tonight and then work on my Night and Day Cowl. And it's like, I don't know, it's just an easier project to carry around, and the rows are really short. So I'm gonna get ready for this party and then work on my Night and Day Cowl. Check in with you probably tomorrow, to be honest, but we'll see.
It is Monday evening and I'm here to wrap this video up. I have a sweater 18 with a sleeve, and my cats are hissing at each other. So here is my sweater 18. I have a sleeve. My ball of yarn is shoved in here. But I stopped before the ribbing because I am going to end up blocking this to make sure the sleeves fit right. So I decided to do that. Actually, a subscriber commented and suggested to block before you do ribbing, and it saves a lot of time if you need to like rip out. So I'm going to take that advice because I think that's great advice to block before the ribbing, because that's the worst part if you have to redo, length, is the ribbing. And I'm also want to know where the body's going to hit. So I'm going to finish the other sleeve, block it, and then do my ribbing. I picked up the left sleeve this morning and did a couple of rows, but I still have a whole sleeve to go. I really was hoping to finish the sleeve tomorrow, so today and tomorrow would knit the sleeve, but I didn't get a lot of knitting in today, so that's about as far as I got. I'm going to be honest, this morning I wasn't feeling great and I didn't want to film at all. I didn't want to do anything, so I didn't film, but I'm feeling better now that the day has passed, feeling less. I was just really grumpy. I'm overwhelmed with some stuff going on. 3 out of the 4 properties that we own have mice problems, and I'm just really tired of dealing with it, especially as people who don't like to just like kill mice. Like, I don't know, like I understand that you have to, but I have a real problem with certain ways of killing animals and trying to do it humanely, but it's hard when they're destroying your properties. So yeah, today was kind of like a bummer because of that, but I'm feeling better and ready to, I don't know, turn the day around, even though it's like 4. I'm losing sunlight for sure, but we are going out tonight with some friends to this like farm here that's local to us, and it's like a lavender farm, and they decorate it with Christmas lights for Christmas. I think it's really popular because of Instagram. But yeah, we go every once in a while, like for Christmas, or they have other festivals that we like to go to, like a sourdough festival. We're doing that tonight. So I'm probably done knitting, and I'm also simultaneously was working on my video today, this video, and I'd like to get it uploaded tonight, but I don't know time-wise. I may have to work on it tomorrow morning as well, depending. But if I have any extra time tonight, it'll be working on that and not my sweater. Sometimes I can knit a little bit while editing, but mostly I can't. So as far as my deadline of knitting the sweater in 3 weeks, I'm feeling very confident that I can do that. I do have a lot coming up next week. Like my month this month was very end heavy, especially with the holidays and family visiting and just plans that we have going on. So I am curious to see how the next week goes filming and knitting this sweater. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty confident that I can do it. I don't know about getting another video up before Christmas, but I'm going to try. Blocking it again will slow me down, but I feel like I have the time. Like I have a whole week to finish this, and I just need to do the sleeves, the ribbing, and the blocking and finishing it. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm also feeling confident that I'm going to get my mom's Night and Day Cowl done as well before Christmas. So here it is. And I am still working on my November socks. This is just so pathetic that I'm even bringing this up. But I am still like getting a row in here and there. I actually think I'm going to bring them with me tonight because I think that it's going to be too difficult really to work on anything else, because it's like kind of a thing that you move around a lot and it's dark. So I'm just going to bring my socks and just try to carry like a light bag with me. Peaches is feeling better. She no longer has a cold. She sneezes like, I don't know, maybe once a day. But she's definitely doing a lot better. She doesn't want to be held right now. Okay. Definitely like and subscribe this video so you can see the finished sweater when I finish it, hopefully by next week. And so you can see other videos. I have a lot of new videos planned for next year, and I'm excited to film and post those. So definitely hit that subscribe button. Is that what people say? They're always like, hit that subscribe button. I don't know why people say that though. I don't know if I want to say that. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. It didn't feel natural saying it, and yeah, so we're not going to say that anymore. But like every time I'm like subscribe maybe, and I feel like that's also not what I should say, but it's just like what comes out because of like the insecurities that are in my bones. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and I look forward to filming the next one next week and getting all these projects done and posted. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.